The mirrors are reflecting itself. It's an infiniteness. It's kind of like how the universe works. Our actions reflect us, and we are the reflections of others. So if one lives in conflict, the whole world is in conflict. This is what's causing world suffering. So one must dive deep into their own existence and explore exactly what's going on, what's causing this. Then once you figure that out, then you come to a true understanding. And then one could live in harmony, as one could say, with the whole thing. But in order to do that, one must get rid of their image of themselves, which is called the ego, strip themselves of all their conclusions, their ideas, their beliefs, all their wantings. One is so unwilling to do this because this stuff gives them this sense of comfort, which is a belief born out of thought. And so one begins to resist this emptiness, this loneliness, this nothingness, and they begin to fill it with idea, with pleasure, with abstraction. And so all this nonsense becomes an attachment. So without this stuff, you are nothing and you become afraid, and so you continue the cycle. This is what's causing humanity to suffer. You cannot love if you are in conflict. But to consider the world as something as chaos keeps you in conflict. See? Paradox. So the people who continue to chase this so-called better, which then they become a follower, are trapped in this everlasting search for purpose or meaning, causing them to stay in this conflicted mindset that's causing the world suffering that's happening right now. What do you think religion has done for mankind? It's nothing but trouble. All this division, all this interpretation of this one truth. Where there is division, there is always conflict. Where there is conflict, love cannot exist. Religion is divisive, even though it's got good intentions, tells you to love. The very fact that it is divisive causes conflict. And again, where there is conflict, there cannot be love. Maybe an image of love, but that's merely an abstraction. Please, understand this. And so we create images and ideas, rituals and practices. You think God wants your praise? Come on. And so you must abandon your beliefs. Is there merely thoughts, and thoughts is an abstraction, merely an illusion. Truth is behind all that. But these abstractions confuse the mankind. And it is the ego that traps the soul, blinding it from itself, not aware of what's going on, continuing world suffering. As long as one is not aware about what's causing it, then it will never be solved. So one must understand what I'm telling you. Not listen and say, sure, I agree. Not just attach it into your brain as knowledge is not understanding. Understanding is action. And, clearly, the world is suffering. We think we know how to fix the world. Controlling chaos, introducing new abstractions, all of this stuff. I think we are blind that we don't even see the destruction caused by our own thinking, our own opinions and beliefs, ideas. Christianity says to be like Jesus, but as long as you're like Jesus, you must not be a follower. So, as long as you're thinking that you must be like Jesus, you're trapped in the cycle of following, a conflict. Jesus never wanted praise, just like God does not want praise. And so it happened. And that caused division and conflict, confusion and wars, and, well, it's all the followers' fault. It's the fact that they follow caused this. Not Jesus. Jesus is true. It's the consequences of the followers. Searching, comparing. I hate to just point out Christianity, okay? It's not only Christianity, it's the whole world. It's the whole psychology of the mind. We observe that life is going on violently. We perceive it as chaos and resist it, and so we search for something called better. And so what exactly is this better? Better, an idea born out of thought. A comparison between the now, what has been, and what could be. One tends to be unsatisfied with the present moment, partially influenced by the external world telling you that you must be better, you must be good, you must be unselfish. And so we search for an idea. If you wanted better, you'd stop looking for it, and better there will be. This idea of better is also associated with God. At least the Western understanding of God as the Almighty, the King, the more powerful, the better than you. I think I'll go into this God subject since I'm talking about it. I'm well aware that it might make you uneasy, as it might disturb your comfort. So what is God? Did God create us? All loving, kindness, eternal. And so if He created you, you are part of His image. That is, all loving, kindness, goodness, and eternal. Are we? At least we think we are. If God created you, then you must be the most loving creatures on the planet. But we are not. See what I'm saying? I'm saying if God created you, why are you like this? The better part of you is God. When you love, that very love is God. Please see this. So thought created the image of God, which then gets worshipped by thought. So you worship yourself and call it God. I wonder if you understand this. See the foolishness of this? Government is based on this idea of God as a king. So our nation is built on illusion. We don't even recognize it. We refuse to recognize it because it hurts our little beliefs that we hold on to so dearly because it gives us the sense of comfort and security. Because without that, you are nothing. Nothing is not bad. In fact, as Alan Watts says, space is not empty as it contains the whole universe. So, nothingness allows for wholeness. It's like the canvas for life. But we're so afraid of it that we're stuck always trying to fulfill it in fear that we're going to have to experience it. But when you experience it, nothingness, total stillness, clarity, then wholeness comes to you. And all you feel is love, because you are love. Underneath all your suffering, pain, hate, jealousy, you are love. I wonder if you can comprehend this. Well, who's in charge? That's a common question to ask because you're so afraid. We don't know what to do. We feel alone, so we fill it with idea and all this stuff. So, who is in charge? Well, the reason people call it God is because God is just another word for the eternal oneness of the universe, which is love. And so man has created an image out of thought. Maybe they recognized what love was, started worshiping it, which causes separation, division, and conflict. And so then they begin to identify this love as separate, as a better, causing you to naturally be worse. As I said, God doesn't want your worship. Jesus doesn't want your worship. Goodness doesn't need worship. Love doesn't need worship. People know love is right. People love. It happens all the time. But they also hate. And so then they cannot love fully. But people don't even see it because their ego has taken over their soul. As a Christian might put it, the devil has taken it over. But I'm not Christian. And so a follower of an idea instantly worships the idea, creating separation from you and the fact. And in this separation, peace ceases. Please, understand this. So don't you see, it is you who created this idea of a better. It is you who worship abstraction. God is not abstraction. God is behind abstraction. Truth, Tao, all these words. Same thing, universal love. That's the key. So why do people flock towards this idea so rapidly? As on the social medias, I see all these advertisements for the Christian religion saying you must follow an idea. This is creating more conflict. It is because we are in conflict that makes us search for something that can get us out of this conflict, and so we remain in conflict. The conditioned mind can only understand what I'm saying to a certain degree, therefore not really understanding what I have to say. So one must uncondition their mind in order to have true understanding of life. We're all living in vicious circles, thinking that we're in conflict, so we're trying to do something to get us out of conflict, so then that only continues conflict. The thing is, we were not in conflict in the first place. It was thinking about that which caused conflict. And so it is our mistake of trying to solve the problems caused by thought by only thinking more. We focus on war, politics, religion, social issues. And the more we focus on it, the more it grows. And so division will grow. Conflict will grow. And so as it grows, we try to control it. We try to stop it. Only continuing, like I keep saying. It is up to the individual to change. And they are unwilling to change as long as their mind is conditioned. And a conditioned mind believes its mind is correct because of their thoughts and beliefs, which is a kind of conditioning. So we are trapped, in a sense, from this true understanding. It's a trap that you don't even see. In Christian terms, the sinner doesn't even know that they're sinning, unaware. And so they continue to sin as long as we are a follower of some idea, belief, or organization. As long as we have an ego that keeps us selfish. And all this stuff will prevent you to understand, to love, to live. You guys think it's the politicians, the system, all this stuff that's causing the issues in society, so to speak. But it's the individual. It's each individual in society. That includes you. That causes this corruption. After all, they came from you. And so the world continues to live in conflict. Each individual continues to want security, want fulfillment, want all of this pleasure, idea. And so, if one individual is like this, then it can spread to other individuals very easily, which is what happens. And so, as I said, humans are reflections of each other. When you are a light to yourself, you become a light to others, as J. Krishnamurti puts it, or Buddha puts it. But to quote somebody is not understanding, as that is merely imitation. True understanding comes from original perception, which can only be done if you get rid of your foolish ways. So why don't you change? It is the ego that doesn't allow you. It's the one that says, my beliefs are correct. My thoughts are true. The ego doesn't exist. That's the joke of it all. Yet your people are acting upon it, causing a mess. So there's no reason for conflict. Don't you see it's a big waste of time and energy? It's all born out of thought, illusion. Yet it's so real to most people because they believe their thoughts. But what I might add is that thinking is not bad. You need thought in order to function. But it's overthinking that creates confusion and underthinking that creates dullness. So we need a balance. One must understand this in order to end suffering. To wrap this video up, all of life's problems comes from thought. And thinking is not bad, as you need thought in order to live. And bad things as well. You need bad in order to know the good. You need the good to know the bad. You need life in order to have death. You need death in order to have life. So we live in conflict. So then we chase a better, compared to a worse. And out of that comparison, we have became worse, naturally. So, as a spirit body, little messenger on the internet, I ask humanity to take one long look at yourself and re-question your ways. See how it's causing the destruction of mankind. God doesn't want that. But if that happens, so be it. This was a blink of the eye, a mere little flash in time. As this little video might not even change the world. Who knows? But the message is out there. See what your intelligence does with this tool, as one would do with the Bible.